Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you are enjoying your day so far or your week. So, I will be teaching your business lesson for today. My name is Miss Inga, and it's nice meeting you. So, the last session we were talking about stress and crisis management inside a business as well as personal. But today we are going to look at setting up or starting a business. So the aims and objectives we will be doing today is action plans. So inside an action plan, we have a marketing plan, a management plan, and a financial plan, as well as the production phase of the business. So without an action plan, there will not be any business. And then we will also look at acquiring funding. So we have different types of funding. We have own funding or own capital. We have borrowed funding and then forms of borrowed capital to start your business. So as you begin your business, you will feel that you have failed many times. But failure is only the first attempt in learning. So to be able to be successful, you will need to learn some valuable skills and then you will be successful. But before you can be successful, you need to follow some steps. So first you will need to do an environmental scanning. So environmental scanning for your action plan. Okay, you will need to look at the structure, systems, and also the environment. So you will need to acquire information about the product as well as the services inside the business or the viability. Is it going to work or not? Yes, maybe, or no. And then you need to look at the market size of the business. Are you going to enter into the micro environment, the market, or the macro environment? So the size of the business matters, and then you will need to do a competitors analysis. The benefits of enter into the new market, innovation, which successes do you have, which threats do you need to look at? Okay, and then you will be able to maybe develop or design something new to compete with. And then you need to appoint some employees, but before you appoint the employees, you need to look at their skills and knowledge. Are they going to stay for longer than 10 years? Will they be loyal? Are you looking for innovative people or skilled people? So you need to find the balance between your employees. You also need to appoint a good manager. The manager will play an important role in guiding your employees into a successful business. And then you need to look at the external environment. Which threats are you looking at currently, especially with what we are facing in the world today? Are you going to build a business online, or are you going to let people come to your business? Which type of business are you looking at? And then you also can look at the strengths. Are your strengths going to be more than your weaknesses? Can you build on something that will be lasting and also impactful to create a successful business? And now we will look at the smarter goals approach. So to set up an action plan, you need to look at smarter. So smart goal setting is it achievable? Is it realistic? Is it timely? Is it measurable and specific? So specific means that goal must be able to be identified. So can you identify where you are going and which goal do you want to reach? Measurable, so is it a quantitable? So is it going to be measurable in terms of threats, weaknesses, and then also your competitors? Will you be able to measure where are you going to be in the market? So all those things are important that you need to look at. And then it must be attainable. Will you be able to reach your goal, and will you be able to improve on that? So you should have the ability to reach the goal. So, for example, if you are here in the market, okay, this is the circle, you are entering maybe a micro market environment. Okay, so you are here and you want to enter into a new market environment, the bigger market, the micro, and then the mark, and then the bigger market. So then you need to move from where you are currently to here. So you need to move. So is it attainable? So are you able to stretch your strengths and weaknesses to enter into a new market? And then is it relevant or is it current? So it must be possible. Do you think that this is possible? If you look at the ways of the smarter goal approach. So is it realistic? Are you able to meet the needs of the customers? So do you have a realistic product that will satisfy the customer's need? And then time-based. So you need to launch your new product or action plan in a timely manner. So you need to plan when, how, and when you are going to launch your action plan or your new business. And then you need to do it in an ethical manner. Can you enter the market in an ethical way? For example, getting new customers and getting new contracts in a honest and a way that you use your integrity to do that. And then, is it recordable? So it must be recordable to be reviewed. So when you start your action plan, you need to be able to record the steps, and then when the market is improving and innovation is taking place, you can build on that, and you don't need to redesign a whole new structure or set up a new action plan. So now we will look at how will a business plan be turned into an action plan. Okay, so how will a business plan be turned into an action plan? So a business plan, you will use the SWOT analysis. So your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And then you have your leader, your mission team, your timeline, and your business plan. Let me just erase that. Okay, and then your business plan will lead to your action plan. Your action plan is your strategy, your activities, your implementation, your schedule, time bound, your collaboration with your employees, or maybe a new business, and your objectives is your goal, and then your improvements. Okay. Management strategy. So the management strategy is the first strategy under the action plan. So how will the business be organized? Maybe from management to the CEO of the business, the owner. So how will the business be managed and operated? Will you have a manager at the first level, middle, or top level? How will you structure your business operations? What business experience and qualifications does the entrepreneur have or need? So do you think you have the skills and knowledge to set up a business? What pre-operating activities must happen before the business can operate? So do you have the employees that needs to run the business successful? Do you have the equipment inside the business? Do you have the needed activities inside the business? Do you have your accountants and all of that set up already? Or are you just going to start a business and then buy as you go? What pre-operating expenses can be expected? So what are you going to pay before you start a business? Okay. What fixed assets will be needed for the business? For example, machinery, okay, and then your the place where you will have your business, the building, and then you can also look at cars and trucks for your business, exactly what you need. Okay, maybe packaging, you will need a milk machine for your business when you are doing, when you are a milk company. And then what administrative costs will be incurred? So do you need to pay a financial advisor? Do you need to pay a bookkeeper and your employees? And then also you need to look at your how you're going to pay your employees inside a business. Then your marketing strategy. This is probably one of the most important strategies inside a business, is how you market your business, because that is the first impression people will have. So what is the product? Is it feasible? Is it going to satisfy the need of a customer? So the type of product. How does it compare in quality and price of competitors' products? For example, if you look at the type of milk brands we have currently, we have about 3 products, okay? And how are they differentiated from each other, okay, in quality and price? Where is the business located? Is it central? Is it outside where you cannot reach the business, or is it online, like Google Maps? Within the market area, to whom will the business sell its products? So who is the customer? Is the customer female or male? Is it children? Or is the business invented in such a way that everybody can become a customer? What is the need that needs to be satisfied? Is it possible to estimate how much of the product is currently being sold? So if you have a product with different places where the product is sold, usually they will have a sales manager at each province, or maybe the company where it is being sold, and they will usually count the sales and also have a sales analysis of what is being sold, how much, and they also usually count the months where the product is being sold and which months is more successful, and also seasons. So financial strategy, what is the total capital requirement? So how much money do you need to start your business and to be financially stable? So you need to look at the amount of capital you will have left after you counted or calculated your expenses. Is a loan needed? Do you need to go to the bank to get a loan? You also get different types of loans. We will look at that later. And then what security or collateral can be given to the bank? So do you have any assets that you can give to the bank if you apply for a loan that give you the security to start your business? Usually when you go to the bank without any security available, they will not give you the loan. So that is important things to look at. So a loan application will be approved when you give the bank any proof of collateral security. So what do the projected income statement, cash flow statement, and balance sheet show? What is the loan repayment schedule? So how much money will you need to pay back per month? At which interest rate? So how long? Is it a short-term or a long-term loan? So production strategy. So what is the production process? So from making the product to delivering the product. For example, if you have a milk business, you will need to do packaging. You have to do the whole process of getting the milk to delivering the milk, getting the milk sterilized, and also inside the packaging, design the packaging, and yes, so it is a whole process. What buildings and machinery are needed and what do they cost? If you look at a farmer who is having a milk business or a factory, you will need to look at the buildings. The machinery is quite expensive. They usually store gallons and gallons of liters of milk inside the factory. Okay, and you need to look at it to be fresh and all of that. And what will it cost? And then what is the useful life of the buildings and machinery? Will you need to apply or get new machinery in the next 10 years? How will maintenance be done? Can you appoint someone? Will you need to outcontract something or someone to help you maintain? And are spare parts easily available? If there's a problem, will you be able to rectify it within a few hours without interrupting the production strategy? When and where can machinery be obtained? So where is your retailers and when can they deliver? Okay, so the production process of a bicycle. So first, create production, then you need to create the product, and then you need to find all the necessary parts of the product and then build the product. Okay, acquiring funding. So equity capital is your own funds. Usually you will go to your own bank account and then invest with your own capital. So owners of a business can supply their own funds that can be from their savings or profits. The type of ownership that the business chooses will determine the source of funding. So the type of business that you have will determine where and how you will acquire funding. Okay, so the only advantage of using your own money is that you will have no payment and also no interest rate. So borrowed capital, okay, is money that a business borrows from individuals or financial institutions. Individuals can be family or friends. It can also be maybe someone you know, or venture capitals, and then financial institutions such as banks, and then there are also other ways, but the most important one is banks. So banks will only lend money to a business that they believe will make profit. So if they do not believe in your action plan, they will not lend you the money or borrow you the money. The disadvantages of borrowed money is the fact that you will pay back at a high interest rate, dependent on if it is a long or short-term loan. So comparison of the characteristics of own capital versus borrowed capital. Own capital is of permanent nature. It is seldom withdrawn. So you will keep it inside your bank account. Okay, you will not touch it. It receives a form of dividends or interest rate, usually a savings account, okay, and you have control over it. When the business is terminated, own capital is the last to be paid. So this is the last resort you will use to pay your loan or the money you borrowed. So borrowed capital is short-term, medium-term, or long-term. It can be withdrawn quite frequently. Okay, so you can maybe every 3 months or 6 months. Interest is paid on borrowed capital, maybe at 8%. You can also have a fixed interest rate when you borrow capital. So you don't have control over borrowed capital. And then it also influences the management of the business. So it is preferential and must be repaid first before the owner's capital. So before you can show any growth in your sales, you need to repay your accounts first. Sources of funding. Sources of funding is equity capital. So usually family and friends or your own capital. So you can go to people who will help you or who are willing. Then loans. You get different types of loans. Short-term, long-term. Short-term loans usually paid within plus minus a year. And then a long-term loan is usually paid within after a year, but the interest rate will be higher. And then you will also have debt. So you get good debt and bad debt. So good debt will be your the payment on your car or something like that, which is viewed as an asset. But bad debt usually when you need to repay someone, maybe credit or something like that. Then you have installments on sales agreements. So installments is monthly. You have a contract at a phone company like MTN, you pay them 1,000 Rand a month. So you recharge your account and you pay off your phone. A lease agreement, usually when you go and you are living inside somebody else's house, you have a lease agreement and it will expire within a year. Usually you pay a deposit on a lease agreement. Debentures, usually money borrowed from the public. So you will maybe market and then you will create capital inside the public. For example, we recently saw many people giving towards a feeding scheme in South Africa to help the people with food. Because of the coronavirus, people cannot work. And so it can be big amounts or small amounts. Trade credit is venture capital companies. So companies will invest inside your business. They can be a silent partner or maybe a 50% ownership. So that are the kinds of capital or funding that you can look at. And then you can also borrow from other sources. So other funding sources are the government. The government will borrow you money. For example, we have banks and they are based on the government laws and regulations. So all the banks will have the same interest rate. And then friends and family. So you can borrow from your friends or maybe your family. And then the venture capitalists, like I just told you, are people that will invest in your company. Can be a silent partner. How this works is the percentage of money they invest in your company, you need to pay them in dividends so that they can make an income like that. For example, if you pay them if they pay 5,000 into the company, you have to pay them. If they invested 5%, you have to pay them 500 Rand per month. Okay, so this is the end of our lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. The different types of funding and turning an action plan into a business. So at the end of this lesson, I want you to take note that we are going to have an online quiz. I will email you the link. You will find it in your inbox. You need to click on it and finish the quiz by the end of next week and Monday. So this will also count 5% toward an online assessment. So thank you and enjoy your week. Goodbye.